Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Cinta Lembang, and today I would like to explain about Middle English language. The English language is a member of an extensive group of languages called the Indo-European language family. This language family can divide into several branches and sub-branches. English belongs to the West Germanic branch. The other West Germanic languages are German, Dutch, Afrikaans, Russian, and Yiddish. The history of the English language divides into three periods: Old English, Middle English, Modern English. Middle English, 1066 until 1500. One of the most significant events in English history took place in 1066. A French-speaking group called the Normans invaded and conquered England. The Normans descended from Vikings who had settled in France in the 10th century. However, they quickly adopted the French language and culture. By 1066, the Normans were completely French. The Norman invasion created a French-speaking aristocracy that ruled England. But it had an enormous impact on the English language. Thousands of French words entered the English language after the invasion. French is a Romance language derived from Latin. Even though Latin is an Indo-European language, it differs considerably in grammar and vocabulary from Germanic languages. The introduction of so many French words into English makes English vocabulary very different from the vocabulary of the other Germanic languages. Over half the words in English language are of French or Latin origin. Most English people from the Middle Age did not speak French. However, the language of the ruling class seeped down into the speech of common people. Eventually, the ruling classes acculturated to England and spoke the modified English language as their native tongue. During the Middle Age, a great deal of literature was written in Latin, the international language of the educated people. However, flourishing English language literature existed as well. The most significant work written in the Middle English language is the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. Written late in the 14th century, these works are a collection of stories about English pilgrims on their way to Canterbury, one of the holy sites in England. The Canterbury Tales not only contains a great deal of source material about the Middle English language, but a vast amount of material on everyday life and social mores in England during the Middle Age. Two very important linguistic developments characterize Middle English. First, in grammar. English came to rely less on inflectional endings and more on word order to convey grammatical information. Change was gradual and has different outcomes in different regional varieties of Middle English, but the ultimate effects were huge. The grammar of English. Grammatical gender was lost early in Middle English. The range of inflections, particularly in the noun, was reduced drastically, as was the number of distinct paradigms. In most early Middle English texts, most nouns have distinctive forms only for singular versus plural, genitive, and occasional trace of the old dative in forms with final "e" occurring after a proposition. And the second, in vocabulary. English became much more heterogeneous, showing many borrowings from French, Latin, and Scandinavian. Large-scale borrowing of new words often had serious consequences for the meanings and the stylistic register of those words, which survived from Old English. Eventually, various new stylistic layers emerged in the lexicon, which could be employed for a variety of different purposes. Well, I think that's all my short explanation about the Middle English. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.